Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel, and I am evaluating Kathy's speech about sick building syndromes and how to deal with it. Architects have a responsibility to educate the world about the built environment, and that's exactly what Kathy did. And she did it with three very effective methods. One, it was a very relevant topic for all of us. We go inside and outside all the time, and so naturally that was a topic that engaged all of us right from the get-go. I also like how she used images. No, not PowerPoint, but she used images to highlight and demonstrate what it is exactly she's talking about, so that we know which product she's referring to, what some of the plants' names are she's talking about. I thought that was very effective, and that helped her to not rely on PowerPoint. 一个我们都有的毛病. And thirdly, she used Q&A to engage the audience. She started by asking the audience different questions. She tried to gauge what the level of interest are and to get a feel of who the audience is. And that was a very important objective of this particular project. And I would like to provide some feedback because that would be an important thing for an evaluator to do. So she did use some notes, and I feel that because she's so knowledgeable about the subject matter, she could have went on and talked about it without using notes. That said, she effectively used small index card-sized notes. I wasn't reading what's on the index cards or the post-it notes, but I would imagine that these are keywords which prompted her to talk about various items on her topic. Another thing is to watch for subject-verb agreements, and I think that's a recurring theme for those of us who speak English as a second or third language. But in all, great job being an architect and educating the world on a little bit more about what the built environment is. Thanks, Kathy.
All right, thank you, Samuel. So our next evaluator today is Alberto, who will be evaluating Alan. Although Alan, I think, is gone, but we will learn from Alberto.
He will learn from the YouTube. That's what he said. The lecture is composed by three things: self-image, the slides, and the paper, which Alan provided to us today. Alan started with some kind of report using I am a chiropractor. He also mentioned 5 points regarding to promote the wellness: eat, move, think, rest, and adjust. He went through to the whole idea how high blood pressure, adjustment of some part of your body can be done in order to improve your wellness. Alan was really conversational. He didn't use too much technical terminology. And he was able to engage the audience by using the case. There are a few things which in lectures, especially in the group, you try to convince about or persuade. I would recommend to Alan to change the background from the slides. It was really hard to read because it was red, and especially when there's too much light. The second thing which probably Alan knows really well, even his profession, is to use more pause. Pause. Because, he was probably so agitated to release the whole information whenever, And the third, probably to bring some kind of X-ray. This is a patient which I had with it was crooked, and then when I touched him, he was erected, and his blood pressure is gone. It's more practical than to bring a case because, if you are a doctor or you have the round table, you will be able to say, okay, this case, whatever, but it's also more practical. I like Alan's conclusion because he went back to the 5 points the benefit adjustment of the vertebra, whatever, and also in the way he used the paper, which is really important, even though he didn't went through to the whole scientific point. Just high blood pressure, how it can be reduced, and how effective is the whole thing. And probably Alan is too young as a doctor, and he need to coin his label. He probably need to say the next time, I am a chiropractor. Something different to differentiate from other professionals in the field. This is my evaluation for Dr. Alan.
Alright, thank you, Alberto. So our final evaluator is going to be Amy evaluating Elliot. Let's welcome Amy.
So Alice's speech is similar to Cassie's. It's resourceful, informing. So Alice's speech is very entertaining, and Susie's and obviously Alice is very knowledgeable about the topic, and then it right direct to the interest and background of audience. Our club is the Toastmaster Club, and then we have been participating several times on the speech contest, and then also people come here. It's speech and practice speech, so it's people interested about speech and right match the background. And then Elise used 奖杯 and the ballot to support her main points. And also, 当我看到奖杯的时候，我就眼前一亮，哇，这么漂亮的奖杯！and then 还解释了为什么 club 就是在 club level is not enough, and also well explained that the ballot and score. Also, she used her own experience to explain this thing. So those are very effective to support her main point. And then visual aid is well enhanced the audience understanding. This 奖杯 is so attractive, and then also the ballot is have all the information on it. So one thing we'll need to improve, I will say, probably need samples or testimonies for the how people get from the contest, how much people get from the contest. Yeah, that's it.
Alright, thank you, Amy. Alright, so that concludes the evaluation section. So now, if we could hear from our grammarian. Who's the grammarian?
I was.
Alright.
I just have two things to share, really. I mean, in English, I heard from someone cause you not feel well, and I would say, cause you to. Whenever you use cause you to, it's like saying, take you to a place. So that's it, and there's always common errors on that end. And then this person could have went on, could have gone on, correct past tense, could have gone on. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay, so the tone master today was Amy, so if we could welcome Amy up to give a tone master report.
Oh yeah, actually I didn't catch much because people try to use English to answer Chinese question, and then all are native speakers. Yeah.
是连你自己都没有用。
讲了一部分，对 bilingual, yeah, because yeah, I didn't catch.
It's not like
Yeah.
saying.
Okay, alright, so do we have an all counters report? Janice, right?
Yes.
I can get your report.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, you really made me work this evening.
Oh.
Oh, yes. I will leave the Toastmaster today alone to the end. That's all I gotta say. Okay, for our speakers, Kathy, you had 12 ahs and 1 kinda. Alan had, he was very good. He had 14 ahs, 7 okays, and 2 rights. Elliot, I'm surprised. I caught 3 R's from you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
First time.
That's why she had me here as a raw counter. Okay, during the table topic session, Rebecca, when you were introducing the topics, you had 7. Jamie, you had, sorry, there's one for me, 1 ah and 2 lip smacks. And Tim, you had 10 ahs and 2 kindas.
Okay.
Mary, since you're a guest, I will leave you alone. Okay.
What, just let me know.
You really want to know? 16 ahs and 3 smacks.
So we're supposed to not have ah.
No, yes, that's the idea. So
Okay, so too many ahs and what else?
you have 16 ahs and 3 like that.
Oh,
and
okay.
smack your lips.
I'll
Okay.
try to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
During Tim's table topic, when he was introducing his topics, he had 14 ahs and 1 kinda. Kyle had 16 ahs. Barry had 2 ahs. During the evaluation portion, Kyle, you're running with 7 right now. And for our evaluators, Samuel, you had 4. Alberto had 2. Amy had 10. And your grammarian report, Jamie, you had 6. And as tone master, Amy had 2.
Really?
Yes. And let's say, Sherry, do you really want to know? You are running ahead.
Sure, why not?
All right. You have 28 ahs and 1 kinda. Okay, and that's the end of my report. And I have 1 ah.
Yeah.
All right, so now if we could